we will discuss some concept and then we will do a process. And the concept which I'm going to discuss today is age-old concept, and you will like it. We will look at the same concept in a new light. And this concept is called truth or lie. And since times immemorial, we have been told not to lie, and truth is the best thing, or honesty is best policy, etc., etc. And people were punished for telling lies, and this is an ongoing story. So I did my own research on this, and I will share with you from a very simple perspective what happens that takes us out of present time, or what happens as a result we have so many things going on in our head. So before that, I will just explain a little bit about how body works, and I will draw a very poor drawing. Please excuse me for that. Supposing here is the body, and then it has all the necessary parts, arms and legs, and then here is brain, and then brain communicates to the whole body through brain communicates through nerves. And then another thing which flows throughout the body is blood. So these are the two things which are channel, which take messages and components to different parts of the body. Brain is wired through spinal cord, and then through other nervous system and throughout the body till the tip of fingers. From head to toe, we are just connected with the nerves, and then blood carries the supplements or food to all the parts of the body. And then there is third thing which we have heard over and over. It's called hormones. These hormones, they are related to our emotion or to our thought. So, and this is a defense mechanism, or this is a mechanism. Hormones are also some kind of chemicals which are secreted in the body based on the stimulus. Whatever we see, then accordingly, like we see a good food, smells good, so our hormones, they just tell us this is something pleasurable, and as a result, heart beats differently, eyes look different, and then the whole scenario looks different, and something is ugly or bad smelling, and and then as a result, body reacts differently, eyes balls change, and you retract, you don't want to smell or taste that thing. So this is a small level of our hormone secretion on moment by moment, day by day basis. When you fall sick, the first thing people tell that there is hormonal imbalance, because and now the hormones, they do not know which direction to follow. Now, there is another word which we will learn. This is called as homeostasis. Homeostasis is another example of perfect balance in the body. Perfect balance is like heart is beating at a normal pace, blood is flowing at a normal pace, nervous system is calm, and that is the stage we all want to have, and we listen to the music which you start when we start this meeting, calm music, and we feel calmer, right? Because our ears hear that and we calm down. So this is one process where we should be always balanced. Right? And if we are always balanced, heart is beating at the normal speed, blood is rushing at the normal pace, we are healthy. Right? Now we have to look at, when does it change? When does heart start beating faster than it is supposed to, or blood rushes faster than it is supposed to? So I will give a term which is called shock. Shock is when you see something, but then you try not to see that thing. You say, oh no. That can be very little, that can be very big. That is when the heart beats faster, because some kind of hormones get released, and which tells that there is something unacceptable and stay away. Whenever there is a shock, the first reaction is stay away. And as a result, heart beats faster. And when heart beats faster, then blood rushes faster, and body goes out of control, and homeostasis goes out of control. So the shocks can be external. Shocks can be physical shock. You were walking and all of a sudden you tip over something and you just fall. This is the shock. And body knows the mechanism to cope, and then you just get in the balance. And that can be a bigger shock. You meet with an accident, somebody bumps in you from behind, that is a shock. Somebody bumps from the front is a shock. Somebody slaps you all of a sudden is a shock. And then somebody insults you is a shock. You were not expecting. So anything which you were not expecting, from very little to very big, is shock. And we are all product of these shocks. But see, even in spite of all these shocks, we face the world bravely. Every day we dress up and we come for whatever occasion is, whether it is job or life. We just brace up and say, okay, I will face it. That is possible. You can put up your best, but body is not coordinating. Some people, their hands sweat more than others. Some people have put on glasses because they cannot see the world without facing it. Without those glasses, eyesight goes low, hair fall. These are things which we start considering as normal. Having glasses is not considered something not normal. But we belong to an era when putting on glasses used to be a matter of shame. Oh, you can't see. But now all these diseases, illnesses like having headache is normal. Cold is normal, isn't it? We don't think that you're suffering from something. Feeling tired, lazy, sleepy is normal. But all these things are not normal. Normal is homeostasis. When we were listening to the music and everything is good, you are at peace and calm. So that's why I say that you have moved from that normal state to far away. And then even then you think that you are normal. So certain shocks which are external and we cannot control, we will do that process later on. But today we will talk the shocks which we give ourselves, to ourselves. And that is called lying, Lying. When you lie, you give yourself a shock. I will give an example, is that, I learned this lesson from a person. I asked him, what is the time? At that time, there was no cell phones, and they used to have a watch to look at the time. And if you don't have a watch, then you usually used to ask each other, like, what is the time, So I asked that person, what is the time now? And she said, it's 8:30. I said, okay. And after some time, she came back searching for me. She said, sorry, when I told you 8:30, it wasn't actually 8:30. It was 8:24. And I didn't look at my watch and I told you 8:30. So I thought, what's the big deal? It doesn't make any difference. I said, I'm okay. No problem. She said, it's not about you. It's about me. And then I asked her, I said, like, What's the big deal about it? She said, now I have to tell myself it's okay, no problem. Even if I told you at 24, 8:30, what's the big deal happened in her life? She said, that struggle with myself, I don't want to do. I want to come back and correct it. That was one learning lesson. And then I read a little more literature on this lying or changing what has not happened or what is not there. In my research, I found out that all of us, we lie thinking these are harmless lies. It doesn't make any difference. And then gradually we have in us something called lie factory, where lies are manufactured by itself. I'm not talking about anybody else, I'm talking about me over here. When I started observing, I've realized that I also lie a lot. For small things where there is no need to lie, but that lie comes out of your mouth and then you listen, say, oh, I'm saying this. Are you with me up to here? Just like, how are you today? Say, oh, I'm doing good. Oh, I'm not doing good. Right? So that is changing. So when you're not feeling good, but you're saying good, see how body reacts. Body doesn't know because now there is a conflict. The hormones should be hormones which are releasing is I'm not feeling good. And somebody is asking, how are you doing? Say, oh, I'm doing good. So now there is hormonal imbalance. I observed and I was surprised that I who preach all the time and I lie too. Somebody calls on the phone, says, I'm not at home. Just tell, I'm not here. What difference does it make? But everything was adding up at the emotional and hormonal level. So now when I bring this topic and I talk about this AAO, Arrive at Origin, I just say, start taking away lies from your life. When I say lies have gotten a bad connotation. People feel bad then when you tell them, hey, you're lying. Say, no, I don't lie. But I will change the definition of lying is altering the sequence. What has not happened, but you are saying it has happened. Like I put a rooster, say, when you get in the office, put the time. Look at the clock or whatever, and put the time there. And then you look at the time, you say 9:21. Okay, but then you're supposed to reach at 9:20. You put 9:20. And while you are in at 9:21. So 1 minute, you tell yourself doesn't make a difference, right? That telling yourself is a problem. You are changing your behavior. Right? Are you with me till here? We all have done. So I put myself for 21 days under observation. That I will see how many times I lie. For a few days to begin with, I was, like kind of, oh my God, again I said this. I shouldn't have said that. I was correcting, saying sorry to people over and over, and people were not liking it because we live in a world where lying is acceptable. As long as you're not killing somebody, that's okay. But in these 21 days, I did one over this habit of mine where lies come out by itself. And then people ask me these questions that if you start telling the complete truth, you will lose friends, you will lose relatives, people will not like you. But to the contrary, it happens because when you come across as a person who is telling the truth all the times, but not in a bitter way, like I'm going to tell truth on your face, not like that, tell the truth in a proper grammatical good words. Others, they start trusting you more. They know that, what you're saying is true. Your credibility increases. You have more friends. In this world of temporariness, we like stable things. We like people, those who are stable, those who will not change the sequence of the events. Right? So that is what one shock which we all can save ourselves. from balancing our body. I will tell one more little example. There are two friends. One friend just borrows this tiny book from that another friend and takes home. And then after taking home, he misplaces it. Mm-hmm. And now when he comes back and meets the same friend, and their other friends are also sitting there, and then the people are discussing like how other people take away stuff and then they never return. Now this person has an opportunity to say that, oh, I also took your book and didn't bring it. But then he thought, oh. And then this little thin book of not much value started becoming bigger and bigger, because he did not say that I lost it or I misplaced it. And then now he has to either say that that friend is bad, or he has to say that, so what, it's a small book, not a big deal. What I'm trying to say, whenever you do something which did not happen, you have to justify that action in your head. Forget about anybody else. Am I right or not? When you told lie, then you say, oh, I was doing it for his benefit. Whenever you tell this safe truth, just to keep the relationship okay, next time when you meet the same person, you're not that comfortable with that person because your truth keeps popping up all the time. You don't want to sit next to that person to whom you have told the safe truth, because you're not very comfortable with him. Not because of he knows it, but you know it, that you told him something which was not true. So this is here we are talking all about ourselves. Why should we not lie for our health, or change the sequence, or change the topic, or add time, delete time? These are the things which give us shock. And as a shock, our hormonal system start going in imbalance. So the good news over here is what we are doing, it does not want the whole world to change for us. Because otherwise we say the world is not good to us and the world is not friendly anymore. How can we be happier? Over here is that once we start sorting it out, in sorting out, the first day we did the process in which we said, okay, let's sit down. And when we sat down, we saw that so many things going on in the head. Right? So then they settled down, and then we became more and more in the present time. Now I'm telling you why those things circle in the head. The only time they circle in the head when you have changed them, their sequence. Then it just keeps on going in your head, and then you have to keep on changing its form to digest it. Even then you cannot digest it. So in many ways, people try to tell this to you, that use this, but then I'm just trying to tell you in more, what harm does it cause to your body? Because if you just turn out to be selfish, love yourself, stop this. Because anytime you change it, it changes your chemical composition, and we move away from our origin. So as far as our origin is concerned, we all have to be in the present time, available 100%. Moment you come up with any change sequence, your percentage in the present moment becomes less and less. You're out of present time, and that leads to sickness, illness, and then accidents, injuries, because you couldn't see, your attention was somewhere else. So we will do a process now, and this is one process which you can do to yourself, but I will just keep asking you. It is with open eyes only. So the process is, I will ask you, where are you now? Okay. And then I will ask, where were you then? These are the two moments. So when you do it to yourself, then you can do it, where am I now? Where was I then? So that will bring you to present time. You can do by yourself, this just takes 2-3 minutes. Where am I now? And then just look around and then come to present time. And where was I then? Then your attention will go to, oh, at home, you left something where you shouldn't have left it. So your attention is still there. So the moment you spot that, and then you come more in present time. So it is a handy process which we can do anytime, just to, before meeting somebody, before sleeping also, where am I now? Where am I now? Right? So we will experience it, and let me run it on you. Okay. So we will run it for some time. So when I ask you, where are you now? Then you just tell me. You don't have to reply because it's a group. And then I say, where are you then? Then you just keep moving, and then we end the process. Am I clear? Okay. So let's do it. Where are you now? Okay. Where were you then? All right. Where are you now? Okay. Where were you then? Okay. Where are you now? Okay. Where were you then? Okay. Where are you now? Okay. Where were you then? Okay. Where are you now? Okay. Where were you then? Okay. Where are you now? Okay. Where were you then? Okay. Where are you now? Okay. Where were you then? All right. Where are you now? Okay. Where were you then? All right. We'll take a pause. How is it going? Are you getting my point? When I say where were you then, does attention go somewhere? Yep. And then it comes to present time. Okay. So we'll continue. Where are you now? Okay. Where were you then? Okay. Where are you now? Okay. Where were you then? Okay. Where are you now? Okay. Where were you then? Okay. Where are you now? Okay. Where were you then? Okay. Where are you now? Okay. Where were you then? Okay. Where are you now? Okay. Where were you then? All right. So even we did for very little time, but you can see more of me. I can see more of you. You see how you move on the track, and you are in present time. So this world and, all these people, they are trying hard to teach you how to come to present time, isn't it? So this is a very, very simple process. You can do it for yourself anytime, just sitting quietly, and then where am I now? And then ask yourself quietly only, where was I then? And then you will see your attention go home or with a friend. And then if there is something needs to be digested, it will remain there for that time, but then don't handle it. Again, ask, where am I now? Or just do, where am I now? Where am I now? And look around, and then just come to present time. Brings you into present time in no time. And then you can see that if you have changed the sequence of something, you will be stuck there. Why change your machinery? Your machinery is your best tool. You are just ruining it by getting it stuck at different points where you said something or you did something which was not supposed to be like that. And it is 21 days process is also good, to put yourself under observation. And then you will be amazed, I'm telling you, that how much you change based on my own experience. And then number of times you do that and just keep on keeping some record of that. And then you see by the 21st day, you have changed. There will be different glow on your face, your different voice quality. You will not stammer, or you will be not short of words. You will not say, I don't know. Forgetfulness will go, because anytime you do something which did not happen the way you are saying, you have to press it and change it. And as a result, our capabilities, they change. So with this only, I have to just discuss one more concept with you. But before that, we will just talk about those two things which are in life. One is money and another is time. First, we will talk about money and time, and because these are the two things which are influencing our life. And then we have to find a simple answer for that. I will tell you about my consideration about time. The way I was, when you start growing up, every time you are told that, don't waste time, do something good in this time, make best use of time. Time never comes back, right? How many things we have heard about time? And so time gives you lots of nervousness. That did you make best use of the time? Is the time well spent, right? So let's talk about time a little, and then I will give you a simple answer, and that might ease you. So now him and me, we are talking. If we keep talking for a little longer, all of you will start getting restless. You'll think like, oh, time, he's wasting time. What is he saying? You will just go slide out of present time. That's what happens, because we just want to make best use of time, and my attention will also go on time. Are we making what we are supposed to do? So that's how time is so critical in everybody is a psyche or programming. We just, count everything in time and in money, right? Two things which are controlling us is time and money. Two things which are suppressing us the most is time and money, right? So if we somehow understand, which we will try to attempt here, that what is time, what is money, and then we can be free of it. That is what we are trying to do. At present, I can bet that we are being controlled by it. What are you doing in these 8 hours? What is it getting you? Is it worth it? Is it not worth it? That's the question you ask yourself, your peers ask you, your contemporaries ask you, your life asks you all the time. How successful or flop you are, it is decided by how much money you have or how much time you have, right? So then now we will just bring up my work on it and simpler answers, because that is what my thirst is on. Let's not borrow any definition from anybody, and let's look at what is time. So when I started looking at, before that, my condition was, always do something which is productive. And if you're sitting with somebody and he's talking, then, I will not even know when I get up from there and go, because I'm nervous that I could have done so many other things while wasting my time with this person, that person, or... So first definition which I got about time is a consideration. That there's nothing like time. So that was a very philosophical definition for me to begin with, but then I realized this is a physical definition, because there is nothing like time. We have created time. We have made clocks. We have made calendars. We created time for our convenience. Is that right? And then if we created time, so now time is controlling us. These calendars and these clocks, they are controlling us. So we should know how to create more and more time. How to create more time. So time is only an interval between the beginning and the end. For time, for you to feel time, there has to be a starting point and an end point. Only then you say this is time. Am I right? It starts at 3, finishes at 4. So this is 1 hour. So time is nothing but it is the beginning point and the end point. When did you arrive on planet Earth? Well, that is your date of birth. Okay. From there, your time starts. And then it runs. But you do not know till when. So that is the suspense which is making this whole planet run. When will that time end? Right? That is the only suspense we are all rushing against. We know the starting point. We know the date of birth. We do not know the date of ending. Moment if we know that, that will give us lots of freedom. That we have this much time. Okay? Now supposing we find out that there is no end. It is always there. That is what is the concept of immortality. Right? That you never die. You just live forever. So that takes away lots of nervousness about time. Just, I'm talking on the theory level. Does it make sense? Now, how to create time? That is what one tip I will leave with you, which is a human thing. Not like what I'm saying metaphysically or philosophical that, you're never going to die, so there is always time. It sounds good, but then it's unbelievable when you have to do your job and other things. So time, whenever you start something, if you end it and then decide how much you are going to start and how much you are going to end, you will see that with all those end cycles or end things, you will make time. If you work 8 hours and then everything is done in those 8 hours, 9th hour, you enjoy because you feel that you have time now. I'm free. I have this 1 hour. So time is a feeling which you can give to yourself and nobody else can. And that feeling can come only by defining the end point. By defining the end point of every action. Does it make sense? How much can you do? You decide and then you put an end point to that. How much you leave pending, you are short with that much of time. You feel less time because there is so many pending things. You don't have to complete all of them because it is humanly sometimes not possible. But even if you list them to the sense that, somebody has sent you a WhatsApp message and you haven't replied. So that is your pending time. Right? Somebody you owe some money, you haven't given it back to him. Your time is caught there. You can tell him, I'm not going to give it to you, or I'm going to give it to you on XYZ date. So what I'm trying to say, there are start lines, but there are no finish lines. As soon as you start having finish lines, you create time. That is how you get over time. So once you will do this completely, you will get in the habit of starting and finishing, starting and finishing. Even one communication, right? Hello, how are you? And then the other person says, I'm good. Thank you very much for telling me that. You finish that thing. Hello, how are you? And then you're going there, and that person is saying something to you. Right? Everything has to finish to a point of your satisfaction for you to have time. I'm adding another word in that, to your satisfaction. That will give you time. So till we meet next time, you can make a list of all these pending things with you. And I can guarantee you that you will be more in present time just by making a list and not doing anything about it. And it will not become a chore that you now keep on making list after list. People make lots of lists. And then somebody was making lots of lists, and I said, did you do this work? He said, no, but that's in my list. I said, then who will tell you to look at the list? Because you can forget to look at the list even. But then that also can change it into your habit. I want to share something about myself. I haven't yet started going on the calendar. I'm using my tool of memory, all the meetings of today in my head. Because I think moment I start using calendars and get into it, my ability to manage time will become dependent on the calendar. Calendar will give me alerts and all the things. And that's how we were earlier. We remembered so many things. And then we just worked according to that. And once you take this data out, and I can also assure you that you will get in the framework of starting, ending, starting, ending. So less and less on whatever we are part of the new technology, more and more we are independent and less suppressed by it. I will tell you that I went for vacation, and on that place there was no internet. And we were 6 people. Now we had to face each other, because otherwise you don't have to face each other. You turn on something and everybody looks at that thing. So everybody is looking at each other and they don't know what to talk to each other, because we forgot to talk to each other. We cannot start a conversation. And then we look at the time, it's 6:30, and after some time we look at the time again, it is 6:30. Time is not moving. And then gradually we just started talking to each other and we looked at each other's face. And next day morning, I was about to go for a walk and I found out my phone doesn't work. I had panic attack. If something happens to me, how will I call 911? Or how will I tell my family that where am I? So much of dependence on this technology, not surety about yourself. And thankfully, nothing has changed in the animal kingdom and in the plant kingdom. They're still depending on their own abilities and living in jungles. So this is what we are trying to gain out of doing this Arrive at Origin, to gain more of us.